I am not an expert. The views and opinions expressed in this video are based on my own beliefs and experiences for entertainment purposes only and should not be taken as advice. Proceed at your own risk, not intended for children.
Hey there, lovely humans. Welcome back, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Amy, and on this channel we talk about witchcraft and sorcery and whatever I feel like talking about, all from my perspective and my experience. So I get a lot of, I have gotten a few comments from you guys asking how to actually perform a spell, like how to do a spell, how to really just get started when you have no idea what even is the first step and what's the second step and where do you even find the information. The first thing that I want to tell you is that you can always find spells other people have written online. Now, this may or may not work for you. It is entirely up to you if you want to use somebody else's spell. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just a personal preference. Some people don't like to use other people's spells and some people are fine with it. There are lots and lots and lots of books that have spells in them. But if you're looking for something that's very low cost, there are endless numbers of blogs and things now online that have spells that you can try. You can also always take somebody's spell and modify it. So if you find a spell in a book or online and you think it's almost what you need but not quite, you can always, for example, change the directive. So if it says I want this person to fall in love with me, you can change it to something I would like to have friendly interactions with this person, I'd like to have good energy with this person, or a good relationship, that sort of thing. So you can always take something that doesn't necessarily fit exactly your objective and modify it to fit your objective. The other thing you can do, and this might sound kind of bonkers if you're just starting out, because I think that there is a lot of history around writing spells, actually physically, literally writing them down or finding them in a book and reading them. And I'm a writer. I love words. I love writing spells. I love reading them. I feel like there's so much power in words and also in written words, but written words are not required to cast a spell. So there are a couple of ways that you can get started if you don't know how to write a spell and or don't want to write a spell. Maybe it's not in you right now to write something out, or you're not quite sure what to say. Maybe you get hung up on trying to find the right words or make it rhyme or something like that. So I want to talk to you about two different ways that I personally use to cast spells when I am not feeling up to writing something, or maybe even if I'm not feeling up to speaking out loud. There is another component to written spells, which is that often we speak them out loud, right? So we read the spell, we read the incantation, and then that's sort of what gives it life and power and stuff. But it is possible to it's always possible. Honestly, it's possible to do anything that you want to do. But it is possible to cast spells without writing them down or speaking them out loud. This might also be helpful for people who maybe writing, reading, or speaking isn't very accessible. So I'm going to jump into those two different techniques, but before I do, please subscribe if you're here and you like this video and you want to see more of them. It really, really helps me out if you subscribe, and it's so easy and it's free. Isn't that nice? Okay, thank you so much. Okay, getting into it. My hair. It's fine. It's fine. Getting into it, the first way that I like to cast spells without using words is with a candle. Now you can find candles pretty much anywhere, and it doesn't have to be any sort of special candle. Chime candles or spell candles can be found online, on Amazon, in metaphysical stores, sometimes in gem shops, in rock stores, rock shops, whatever. I get mine from a local shop in Dallas called The Labyrinth. It is amazing. It's Dallas' oldest witch shop. They're fantastic. So freaking fantastic. But you can also use tea lights, right? Like you can find tea lights pretty much anywhere. You can find them in Walmart, you can find them online, you can find them pretty much anywhere. You could also use like a decorative candle. If you have candles just like that you like to burn or use for other things, like candles are very, my shirt just isn't cooperating today and I don't know why. It's just like, what is going on, t-shirt? You can use pretty much any kind of candle, and if you purpose it, it'll work. So don't stress over what kind of candle. Don't stress over like whether or not the scent is right. When you get a little bit more into things like herbs and oils and scents, if you get into those things, colors and whatnot, that can impact the decisions you make about candles, but you don't have to worry about that if you don't want to. So that is 100% your choice. It's 100% up to you. And if we're talking about casting spells in like an easy, simple, like accessible way, then just grabbing any kind of candle will totally work. So what I do is I spend some time with the candle. I tend to be a little bit elaborate. I will maybe dress it with an essential oil, or I will maybe like cleanse it with smoke from incense or sage. Sometimes I do etch things into my candles, but since we're talking about something that's easy to do without writing, I'm not necessarily recommending that, but it is something that you can do. You can etch a word or a name into your candle using anything with a point, really. For those of you that are new here, don't know, I am also a blood sorcerer, so I would normally include that in my dressing for my candle, but that's not required, especially if that's not something that you do or want to do or anything like that. So assuming that you're just using a plain candle, you're not adding anything to it, you're not dressing it, you're not etching in it or anything like that, what you're going to do is need to find somewhere safe for it to burn, obviously. Don't ever leave candles out by themselves, like follow regular fire safety guidelines, right? Just like you would with any candle. And what I do is I just hold on to the candle, maybe I close my eyes, and I just start like in my mind speaking my intention into the candle. I tell the candle what it is and what I want from it. For example, say this is something where I am in a situation where I need money. Okay, I would tell the candle that I need prosperity, that I need opportunities, that I need money that has been lost to be found, that I need whatever form it comes in and whatever vehicle is quickest and easiest. I need the cash flow, and then also what I need it for. So if there are big things that you need money to cover, you can ask for a specific amount, or you can just say, I need to be able to cover all of my bills, all of my expenses. I need to be able to pay for everything that I want and need without having to stress or worry about it. And these are the sorts of things that you would imbue your candle with this energy, because as you are speaking into it, you are giving it life. You are giving it your intention, you're giving it your energy, right? So you're charging a candle, but you're charging it with your purpose for it. And then, sort of once you're done talking to it, if you decide to do that, you can sit there for a while if you want, sort of in a meditative pose, hold on to the candle, and just continue charging it with your energy. Your energy flows through your whole body, and it does come out your hands. So just be open to allowing your hands to share energy with the candle, and hold on to it and share energy with it for as long as you want to. If it's something really little, and you maybe want it to really own its purpose, you can just stick it in your pocket and carry it around for a day or so until you feel like it's soaked up enough of your energy. This doesn't have to be something that you have to take a lot of time and sit down and do. It can also be something where you just keep it with you for a while or whatever. And then, once you've got it charged and it's ready to go, you'd put it in the safe place and you'd burn it. You can burn it down all at once if you want to burn it just in one day, or you can burn it for an amount of time, a few minutes or a couple of hours, and snuff it out, and then light it again another day. And then that just kind of keeps the energy going, it keeps the spell going, and there's really no wrong way to do this. The only thing that I would say is that I recommend snuffing candles versus blowing them out. People have different opinions about this. That's just how I learned it a long time ago. So that's the first way, is just with a candle. The second way is if you don't necessarily have anything, right? So say you don't have a candle, you don't have a way to write anything. Maybe you're in the car in a parking lot, right? And you need to cast something. So the other way that I like to do this is to bring myself to a meditative state. So I would normally put myself in my apartment. I'd sit and sort of be serene. Maybe on my bed I would sit up, and maybe I would play music, or maybe I'd just sit in the silence. I like sitting in silence when I meditate. There are some types of music I like to listen to when I meditate, but I don't recommend anything with words unless that like really works for you, in which case go right ahead. That could be a personal preference, right? So I like to sit, get myself in a meditative pose. I will usually like put my hands up and open on my knees, right? So I'm sitting like this, but with my hands up and open, which is actually like a sitting pose in yoga, and I don't remember the name of it. Sukhasana? Shavasana? Sukhasana. It might be Sukhasana. Anyway, I'm not a yogi. I just like it. So I would sit crisscross applesauce with my hands open on my knees. If that's not accessible to you, that's totally fine. You can sit in a chair, put your hands open on your knees sitting in a chair. If you don't have the use of your hands, or if that isn't accessible to you, if that doesn't feel good, then you don't have to have your hands open. That's just the way that I do it. Your energy will flow. It will flow. It does flow. It always flows. Your energy is it's like a circuit. So it's like the electricity in a house. So as long as everything is connected and everything is plugged in, the electricity will always be flowing. You could turn on a light switch and turn it off, but that does not stop the electricity from the house like flowing. The only way to do that is to like flip the breaker. But anyway, that's kind of a weird metaphor. I don't know if that worked, but I think you guys get my point. Your energy in your body is always flowing. So unless something is stopped up and like keeping it from working a certain way, it is always moving. And so even if you can't have your hands open, even if you can't sit in a certain way, or like even if you don't know how like specifically to open your chakras or whatever, you can still channel your energy into what you're doing, because it is there for you. You just have to send it. You just have to feel it, push it out of your body. So how I do this is I close my eyes and focus on quieting and calming myself, not necessarily blocking out all of my thoughts, but kind of like just focusing on my heart rate being steady and my body and mind being sort of just like chill, unless I'm focusing in emotion into what I'm doing. And like in which case, like if it's like extreme amount of love, or if it's like anger or something like that, or frustration, or like sadness, desperation, then I would try to sort of channel that into what I'm doing. But that like level of calm really helps with control. So chilling out a little bit before you channel that emotion is still a really good idea. So I chill out, right? And then I think about exactly what I want to happen. And I don't focus on how it's going to happen, because the universe is going to make it happen for you in the quickest and easiest way that it can. So if there's specific details that are needed, like if you need enough money, for example, to cover something big, then you need to be specific about that versus just saying I'd like to get some money, because that could be like finding a quarter or a $5 bill, and the universe will be like, see, I gave it to you, and that's not what you want. You need something specific. So if you need something like large or specific, be sure to visualize that. So what I do is I visualize exactly what I'm doing, exactly what I need, and then I focus on pushing my energy out to make that thing happen. And I also focus on asking the universe to aid me in this. Or if you work with gods or deities, you can do that as well. You can ask your guides, your gods or deities to go out and make the thing happen. And you just focus on it until you feel like you're good to go. If you're grounded into the earth, go ahead and like push the energy from the earth back down into her, anything excess, so you don't have to walk around with it, and close off your connection so that you're not getting drained. You want to close off your energetic connection to the earth and also to your spell so that you're not feeling drained, and then just go about your day, and that's basically it. So yeah, those are two like really simple, really basic ways to cast spells without having one written, without necessarily knowing what to do or having a lot of tools. It's pretty simple. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments down below. I always read them for the first like day or so that the video's posted. So if you watch this quickly, then you're more likely to get a response from me. And I really want to hear what y'all think. If you made it all the way through the end of this video, please put a little heart emoji in the comments and tell me what you thought. If you have any ideas for really quick, simple ways to cast spells without writing them down or reading them, please put that in the comments down below as well. And as always, please subscribe, like the video, or dislike it, depending on how you're feeling today. If you like what I do here, I have a Patreon, so you can donate there if you want. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a blessed and beautiful day. Bye!